Sir, you have no authority for what you're about to state because what you're about to state is incorrect. That's not the way it works. You don't get to make the rules.
I'm not.
I'm ordering a competency.
It's against my religion to adhere or to assimilate to any statutory.
As it stands right now, this proceeding is not on indigenous land.
Well, that's a matter of perspective, sir.
It is. And the only perspective that's going to matter on that is mine. Young man, you're going to figure out something. We're playing by my rules, not yours. So do not say anything because you're going to figure that out real soon.
All right, guys. Today we've got Judge Simpson going head-to-head with a stubborn sovereign citizen. This guy starts pulling out every single line from the typical sovereign citizen playbook, and honestly, it doesn't work out well for him at all. He's basically grabbing at any excuse he can think of to try and get himself out of this situation. But Judge Simpson isn't putting up with any of it, and the tension in the courtroom quickly starts to rise. While you're watching, let me know what you think. Do you believe this guy is mentally unstable, or do you think he's just putting on an act? Either way, let's go ahead and jump in and see exactly how this whole situation between this sovereign citizen and Judge Simpson started.
Of the Tariq Sakmar Tariq Kadeh Living Trust and the registered owner of the Tariq Sakmar Tariq Kadeh Ex Relatione Kindaman Wilson Estate.
Right. So you are appearing here without an attorney. I do have to advise you that you are charged with the offense of fleeing and eluding in the third degree under the Motor Vehicle Code. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years incarceration and or a $1,000 fine plus court costs. Additionally, the Secretary of State could suspend your driving privileges for up to a year. Do you understand that, sir?
I comprehend.
Do you understand?
I comprehend, yes.
The court has to further advise you that if you wish to be represented by counsel, the court would ensure that counsel would be appointed to represent you in this matter and that you would have counsel if you could not afford to hire counsel yourself. I also wish to advise you that the court would be treating you the same as it would the people in this case. There are certain dangers to representing yourself in this matter, in that you will be required to abide by the Michigan court rules, the Michigan rules of evidence, and all of the cases and statutory requirements. You understand that?
I do not.
You do not. What is it about that you do not understand?
It's against my religion to adhere or to assimilate to any statutory.
Sir, I'm not asking anything about your religion. It is irrelevant to me. I am indicating that in this proceeding, you will be required to abide by the rules of this court. Do you understand that?
I'm having a hard time understanding why or how religion doesn't play a role.
How what?
How religion does not play a role.
Religion does not play a role in what I do or what this court does. There are certain rules of this court established by the legislature and the Michigan Supreme Court regarding how these particular proceedings will be conducted. These proceedings will be conducted in accord with those rules. Do you understand that, sir?
Well, according to the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, as well as the international or the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the state and the governments should.
Sir, you have no authority for what you're about to state because what you're about to state is incorrect.
This is exactly why I like Judge Simpson so much. He's a straight-to-the-point judge who doesn't tolerate any of these sovereign citizen antics. Honestly, we could use a lot more judges like that. I swear, a lot of the judges I feature on my channel seem way too lenient with these people, and having more judges with Judge Simpson's approach would make a big difference. These sovereign citizens seem to believe they can simply talk their way out of any situation, but you can clearly see that this guy doesn't even seem to understand what he's saying. It's almost like he's just repeating a script in his head, reaching for anything that might help him get the case dismissed. It's honestly unbelievable the lengths some people will go to avoid taking responsibility. Sometimes it feels like they've never even heard of how the law actually works. Personally, I think part of the problem is that schools don't really teach much about the legal system. But in reality, the U.S. legal system is based on facts and established law, not on the kind of claims they make about sovereign immunity or being free from authority. I know a lot of these situations come across as more entertaining than serious, but it does raise an interesting question. Should sovereign citizens start being taken more seriously in today's world? Or should we just keep seeing them as a kind of courtroom spectacle? At this point, it almost feels like watching a circus act. Still, I'm curious to hear what you all think about it.
Indigenous persons
No,
are to have.
sir, what you're about to state is incorrect.
Well,
If you were on indigenous lands, if that's where you're going, then maybe you might be right. As it stands right now, this proceeding is not on indigenous land.
well, that's a matter of perspective, sir.
It is, and the only perspective that's going to matter on that is mine. We are not on indigenous lands subject to indigenous or tribal rules.
Is there
You
a
are
law?
subject to the rules of the Michigan Supreme Court as they are promulgated, both in terms of procedure and evidence. Do you understand that that's what's happening, sir?
I do not.
What is it that you do not understand?
I don't understand.
Because I'm going to tell you something, sir. If you are unable to establish or understand what I'm saying, and go through this with you again, I have to assume that there may be some reason why you don't understand. This court will take precautions to protect your rights, and I will be sending you for a competency evaluation to make sure that you are competent to stand trial and to stand in these proceedings.
Well, I would agree to a competency if the prosecution as well as the court and the officers agree to take a competency.
That's not the way it works. You don't get to make the rules.
I'm not.
I'm ordering a competency.
I'm not making.
Defendant is ordered for a forensic evaluation. I will set a competency hearing in this matter for July 25th, 2024. At what time? At 9 a.m. Now, sir, I'm going to ask you this
Yes, sir.
because it's going to depend on where you may be staying for a period of time. If they send you information as to when you have your forensic interview,
Yes, sir.
are you going to cooperate and attend that interview?
Under threat, duress, and coercion. Yes.
Pardon?
Under threat, duress, and coercion. Yes.
No. Not how.
I can honestly feel Judge Simpson getting close to losing his patience right now. I've seen him reach that point before, and believe me, this guy is extremely close to getting hit with a contempt charge. You can practically see it in the judge's expression. He's trying to stay composed, but this man just keeps pushing things further. Seriously, listening to this guy talk is making my head spin. He's clearly in way over his head, and it's obvious the judge is just waiting for the right moment to finally drop the hammer. This guy really needs to be careful with what he says next before Judge Simpson decides to send him straight to jail. Let's jump back in and see if he keeps testing the judge's patience.
Voluntarily going to cooperate.
I say yes.
Pardon?
I mean, under it, yeah. I mean, is this what are, excuse me, what are you relaying to in regard? What are you insinuating in regards to where I will stay for a time?
I'm going to make sure that we are going to have our forensic interview done. I've ordered a forensic interview. I am asking you whether or not, when given notice of that interview, whether or not you are going to voluntarily cooperate in that interview.
I will take the interview.
Excuse me?
I will take the interview.
Anything from the people?
With the court
Ask the people to prepare the order for the competition.
Yes, please prepare the order for the. Is that your address, sir?
Excuse me? That's correct.
All right. All right, very good.
And so I will send a copy to that address.
Very good. All right. This time then bond is continued.
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry, can I get that date again, please, sir? If I can put it in my calendar.
July 25th, you were supposed to, so I'm assuming you're waiving it. You were supposed to file your motion with.
I
the
did,
court.
I filed it.
When did you file it?
I brought it in today.
Do we have it?
I gave it, I mean, it was stamped and everything. I gave it to the reception.
Why didn't you file it before today?
Well, as I stated at the last hearing,
No, don't go through what you
additional week.
stated at the last hearing.
Well, you
You
asked.
knew that, no, you knew it was supposed to be filed before the day. Young man, you're gonna
That's it.
figure out something. We're playing by my rules, not yours. So you know, do not say anything because you're gonna figure that out real soon. Do they have it?
I have not received a response yet.
Since I'm sending in for competency, I can't hear that. I can't hear his motion in any event. So I won't hear his motion at this time. He'll have to refile it timely if he's determined to be competent. So I'll have his bond continue. He can go. What?
I didn't get the last part that you said. The bond continued and what?
I said you can go.
Oh, okay, no problem.
I uploaded the second half of this video a while back, so make sure you check that out if you want to see what happens next in this guy's hearing. But honestly, if Judge Simpson gave me the kind of death stare after all the ridiculous questions I had just asked, I'd probably be shaking in my shoes. If I were in this guy's position, I'd definitely rethink my whole approach the next time I walked into a courtroom. These sovereign citizens, though, they really seem to have a serious ego issue. It feels like some of them know they're wrong, but just refuse to admit it. Sure, there are probably a few who genuinely believe in what they're saying, but for others, including the guy we just watched, it seems more like pride stopping them from backing down, even when it's completely obvious they're out of line. It's honestly crazy how far some people will go just to avoid taking responsibility. And speaking of responsibility, let's talk about Judge Simpson for a moment. He's doing exactly what the law is supposed to do, keeping things under control and making sure people stay in line. I honestly wish more judges handled situations like he does. In my opinion, too many judges tend to be overly lenient, especially when dealing with sovereign citizens. We really need more judges like Simpson who are willing to put their foot down and not let people get away with this kind of nonsense. Just imagine if all these people were sent somewhere where they couldn't keep disrupting the court system anymore. It would probably make things a lot smoother. But at the end of the day, it really starts with the judges stepping up and enforcing the rules more firmly. Anyway, let me know what you all thought about this court hearing. It was definitely an entertaining one, and the guy's argument was mostly the usual stuff we've heard before, so nothing too shocking there. Still, it's pretty ridiculous to see the same behavior over and over again. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I upload new videos every single day, so stay tuned for more. I really appreciate everyone watching. Thanks for the support, and take care. Raising hands.